Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was a prophet and messenger. Who was Ali bin Abi Talib?
You see him as a Khalif.
Radiallahu anhu. A Khalif. No more than that. Do you believe these men were infallible?
If you'd like a proper debate, we can have it, but I'd like to know what your topic is.
I'm asking you one question, you can't answer me.
It's fine, we can talk about it.
Do you believe that Ali bin Abi Talib was infallible?
The ones that say Ya Ali. I say Ya Ali.